Hello, everyone. It's Michele Maher here, and I'm joined today with Jeyakanthan. Thank you so much, Jay, for giving me your time to come on my Pivot with Positivity show and talk about what we've been dealing with the past I guess over 9 months now. And as we're looking forward to 2021. So thank you, Jay, again. If you want to give us a few words about who you are and what you're all about.
Thank you, Michelle. I know it's been a while that we've been connected. Thank you for having me on your show. So, yeah, I'm Jeyakanthan, and I'm here on behalf of Landed for Success platform. So we have a platform for people to come and network. So that I'm a co-founder of that platform. So I'm just representing, and I'm excited to be on the show and having this conversation with you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you again for joining me. So, as we were saying just before we came on here, you're also you also have children.
Yeah.
And your kids are how old?
I have two daughters. My eldest daughter is 14 years old, and my youngest daughter is 11 years old. And
Okay,
this year,
oh, sorry, yes.
No. Again, this year my eldest daughter went to high school. So with COVID and everything, it is a challenging and some interesting time. I can tell you that.
So September she started in grade 9.
Grade 9, yes.
Okay, yeah. So that would be, and I understand that would be challenging for. First of all, back in March, everybody came home. The schools had no plan for anything. So at the beginning, it was just vacation. Then they tried to put together some sort of online schooling, which worked. I think it was very teacher dependent, and it worked well for some and not so well for others. And so then she'd be starting a new school without without really being around kids before that. And yeah, it would be quite difficult. And all of a sudden the distancing and the masks and everything like that, yeah, it would be challenging. It was something they needed, though. They needed to get back to school, the kids.
Yeah.
I really felt that.
It did. Like for us, it's interesting because, like you said, we have two daughters. They are on a two different time frame or time scale. Like you said, when COVID hit in February, where we shut down in March, right? So my kids were going to chess class and robotics and all the hands-on classes. Since everything shut down and the school went on virtual, we still have not gone to those robotic classes. It's like it's some of them turned into virtual with school, but it's not the same because being like in the after school program, because my eldest daughter was in YMCA. She was a youth leadership program. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays she goes and help. And she was training to be a lifeguard at the local YMCA in our town. Right. So all those things, like literally right now since March, we haven't hit the YMCA or the swimming pool. It's not only us, like the collective parents have to pivot, because that's why your core of your show, like the entire life have to pivot to accommodate, and especially parents who are having kids. I'm sure like there's hockey classes, basketball practices, hands-on art. Everything is completely turned around at 360-degree changes. And I'm sure everybody that you talk to have a different age group of kids will be affected in a different area based on their interest and the activities that they do.
Right. Yes. And depending where they are as well, because some of the places, like here in Toronto, we've been shut down the most. And some of the other places in the outer, like Halton region, might have been open more. So maybe they got back to things a bit. I don't know. But like you say, it's not the same. You can move things to online, but it's still not the same as hands-on.
I'm glad you made that point, because we had, like you said, remember earlier conversation that we are having. we had a beautiful summer, but like certain places, like in Hamilton, waterfalls, like for me as a father, like working on multiple different ventures, there's not much time to spend time with the family, right? So actually, COVID actually made that a little bit positive for us. Pivoting into positive is was
Mhm.
able to spend some time with the kids, and I posted some of them on my Facebook. I took the kids to beach and the waterfalls in Hamilton, and not far, like it was not flying to Caribbean or
No.
flying to different countries, but within Ontario itself, we got a chance to go and explore. I call it with my kids like the hidden places that we never knew before. So in the summertime, we were exploring Ontario's beaches, the waterfalls, some like something into that nature. And then in the fall's time, because we started walking as a family, so we would go to. I downloaded an app, and there are so many trails in my neighborhood or the surrounding neighborhood. All these years I've been here, I never get a chance. Like, yeah, of course we go to the park and stuff like that, but there are so many nature trails with all kinds of stuff, especially in fall colors. We were able to enjoy that small things. Like sometimes, like when major stuff happens, you tend to enjoy the small stuff. So for me, these are the small positive stuff that was we got to do as a family is enjoying the walking the trail, taking the
Right.
dog for a walk, and I don't know. So it was
Right.
it's a very positive thing from that aspect of things.
Yes, and you wouldn't have otherwise.
Yes.
Otherwise, you never would have discovered those other parts of Ontario. And there's so much to see.
Yes.
There's so much, like you say, hidden treasures in Ontario.
Hmm.
And if it weren't for COVID and being having no choice but to, only travel in Ontario, otherwise you would have just gone on a plane somewhere
Yeah,
for
you're
vacation, right?
absolutely right. Like we live a life, a cookie cutter life, right? Like in January, oh, it's winter, we go skiing. Oh, March is spring, so we go for a spring break. For summertime, we fly out and then come back. So it was like everybody's life was on a schedule. So, but like you said, this COVID has had the pivoted the entire thing and put it into a chaos. Somewhat, there was a method to the chaos, like what you're talking about. It was made you enjoy the existing stuff in the local stuff, which is a very positive, and I'm very appreciative of enjoying that.
Yes, yeah, and you're not the only one. I mean, there's so many people were all of a sudden getting out into nature much more than they would have otherwise, and getting that time to spend, the quality time to spend with their kids, because before that it was rush, 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 and rushing your kids off to different activities and things like that, where all of a sudden, you didn't have to rush them off anymore, so you had that time to spend together as a family. And that is that has been one side of it that has definitely been good. The other thing is too that, like you say, all of a sudden it was a matter of 2 days, or maybe a few days,
Mhm,
that all of a sudden everything was shut down,
mhm.
and all of these all of downtown Toronto had to come home to work,
Yeah,
and all of the government organizations, just so much changed in such a short time. And I think that's what um, threw a lot of people into fear and despair, because we don't, naturally we don't like change.
mhm,
Humans resist change, and then all of a sudden everything changed so drastically when we were all used to our routines.
mhm, mhm.
And but on the flip side of things, it's given us the chance to sit back and reflect on how you were living your life before and what you were doing, and is that really what was making you happy and fulfilling your life and your passion and your purpose.
Absolutely, because you're right. Because pre-COVID, we were all busy and we were doing things like we were going at a phenomenal speed. When you now after COVID, you reflect and think about it, so much non-value added work, and you are just for the sake of running, and sometimes you produce, sometimes you just running like. And now hindsight is 2020, just thinking and saying, what was I, or what everybody was running all about, like what was this everybody is busy about, like we were always constantly running, but it
Yeah.
doesn't now. I think it's COVID is like almost like a reality check. It's the universe way of saying, putting on a brakes and say, here, you're not going to stop, I'm going to make sure everybody collectively stop and reflect. So that's how I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally, for sure. And that's what, in a previous conversation that I had with somebody, we as a society were raised to believe that busy is good.
Yeah.
The more busy you are, the better you must be doing. You must be more successful. And yet, like you say, it was non-value added, and not, you know, how much of that busyness is productive or even efficient, or just busy for the sake of being busy, really.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, productive wise, you really think about it, we are more productive now because we are not traveling, but we are getting meetings done. We are not going to outside, but we are we got. I think we are getting more things done online what we compare to. So from some perspectives.
Yes, and also if you look at the corporate side of things, and the people who have come home working in corporate offices, their productivity is way up. They're, you know, so from that perspective, I think that yes, you definitely can be more productive. But on the other side of things, you some of the people who work in corporate jobs are just working, you know, and because it's so easy to hop on Zoom and you can have, you know, book back-to-back meetings, you can end up that, you know, and taking into account that commute time that you used to have when you used to spend going into the office. And so, and there's not the physical differentiation between work and home. And so you have to kind of make that conscious decision to stop and separate the two. That because you know, you could be very tempted to just keep working.
That is a good point too, because once you get into the zone, like you said, it is a other side of the coin. Now we are talking even like Zoom. Like sometimes we get meetings continuously booked, and at the end of the day, you're getting exhausted. So going forward, I think there are some etiquettes and some protocol that we have to follow. So what is the right amount of time having a Zoom meeting and having a time for yourself and stuff like that. So that is yet to come. So Zoom is also could become an addictive mechanism going forward. So we are going to pivot from there to an unbalanced on this side. So it's always good to have a balance. It's like no matter what, balanced workload and balanced family life, balanced life is we need to strive for. So.
Right. Yeah. And that's why self-care is also something that is very important right now. Besides the fact that you shouldn't be sitting there on a computer doing meetings for 8 hours straight or something like that, because you really should at least get up, go outside and get some fresh air for, you know, even 10, 15 minutes just to get that break.
Yes.
Because you need also the physical activity, which we're, you know, before we at least got into the car and drove somewhere, or you went to a conference and you walked around, and now it's just, you know, get out of bed and you come to your chair or something, you know. So it's all about balance, and that's what it is. But looking back, you know, always there was this concept of work-life balance, and I don't think it's really that. I think it's just like what I would call a whole life balance. Because your whole, self-care is important, because when we look at the whole mental health side of things, with the isolation and being at home, and only on the computer and not seeing people in real life, we need the whole thing to work together,
I
and not
agree
too
because
much, not too much of one or the other.
you're right. The mental health aspect of is huge because I talk to my peers and I talk to family and friends because there are some people like since shutdown, they've been working from home. So they are actually didn't even get a chance to go and explore because of aging parents or some people vulnerable that they cannot go out. So they've been
Yes.
literally stuck in a home or a condo or whatever the space they are in. So their mental health is at a peak, so not at a breaking point, but I don't know what would is the solution would be for that, but I don't know, like what would you recommend, Michelle, like if somebody is due to COVID being stuck in a place like what I know you told earlier that they can go out and get the fresh air, but that's going to be a day-to-day activity, but collectively I don't know who has the
It's
answer, but it's
right.
very tough.
It is very tough. And the people who are living alone, and if you're
Yes.
alone and you're in a condo, it's much harder than just stepping out of your house and going into your backyard. With a condo, you don't even have the space, and then you have the whole worry of the elevator, and other
Yeah.
people being, contained in there with you. So it is quite difficult, and that's where I think that people, need to just reach out to other people that they know who might be in that kind of environment where they have been. And it's just a matter of having the conversations with them, and maybe, even if, well, it's now, and now it's so hard too, because look, it's winter.
Mhm.
So it's even, not everybody likes to necessarily go outside in the winter, and it's cold, and depending on how, healthy people are, yeah, like, it's hard. It is hard, but it's just a matter of connecting with people. And that's the one good thing that I think has come out of this. A lot
Mm.
of people reaching out to people they haven't spoken to in a while, or seniors that they know would need help getting groceries,
Mhm.
or possibly walking a dog or something. I don't know, but different things like that. I have seen a lot of communities coming together, and even people speaking to their neighbors,
Mhm. Yeah.
where, you might not have seen your neighbors before because you're always rushing, again, busy, busy, and all you do is go outside to go in the car.
You're absolutely right because we have to thank the frontline workers. They've been amazing since the COVID, and I know there are a lot of charitable organizations, and they are doing food drive. And even when we were in the middle of the pandemic, they were helping the frontline workers with the food and everything. So yeah, so some the people's compassion is showing, but I think there is a lot more we can do. I know like few key non even like they are also would traditionally do fundraising to have the money. So especially holiday times like this, and they do toy drive, the food drive to keep the people because even though it's the holiday season, for some people it could be like you said, like if somebody is living alone, it could be the loneliest time too. So previously they can go to like eat like meals and stuff like that. So this I know a few organizations are helping, but like I said, as our business people and as humans, as charities, a lot of things that we do, we need to reach out and help the people who are vulnerable or who needs help. Sometimes they won't tell they need help, but it's our duty to call our friends, like I said, neighbors, and check up on us. This is one of the time. It's very different time. So this year is we don't have any experience to say okay we have done it or this is the right way or this is the wrong way. Like not everybody, like one person cannot do everything. but each person can do something that would in turn,
Right.
then we can do a lot as collectively.
Exactly. And that's sometimes that's what stops people. They say, oh, there's nothing I can do. I'm only one person. But you have to remember that as it only takes one person to start, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, and then it snowballs, and then you get more people together, and like you say, there's a lot. I know from in terms of food drive, there's a lot more people needing, with job losses and everything like
Mhm.
that. There's a lot more people needing help with food
Mhm.
as well. All of any fundraising, all the Christmas galas and every event like that, everything's been canceled. So all of a sudden we don't have all the in-person events where there was a lot of the fundraising that would
Typically
normally
would
come out of that.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why it's exactly. And then it's all also just about being compassionate for everyone else, because you don't know what other people are going through
Mhm.
during this time. It's some people, it's because it's magnified a lot of the things. So some people also, who already might have suffered from some mental health issues,
Mhm.
challenges, and also that weren't necessarily in a good relationship, or some, it's really that's another area where a lot of help is needed.
I totally agree, because I'm glad that I had this conversation, because not only that we are doing, it's very important that we reach out to people and help where we can. Like you nicely put, like you don't have to do everything. If you do one thing, it may be the biggest difference for that person or people that you are doing. So I think it's very
Yeah,
important.
yeah, and exactly. And you can do, even to do something small, like just paying for the person that is behind you in the Tim Hortons drive-through or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Or just at the grocery store, you can't smile anymore because
Yeah.
you have your
They
mask
can
on,
see
but
the mascot.
still you smile with your eyes, right? So just doing something kind for somebody, just a kind gesture, especially this time of year, right? This time um, is already difficult for some people that are alone, and everything. So and then of course again we get into winter and everybody tends to stay inside more, so it does become more lonely
It
as
is.
well.
It is. It is very important to be cognizant, and it's a giving season. And what you're
Yeah.
saying is like being compassionate and smiling and helping and have that positive attitude, not to help and lend a hand, is it's absolutely important.
Yes, yes, it is for sure. So in terms of the so as we were saying before, a lot of businesses have had to really pivot a lot, like
Mhm.
entrepreneurs. Some not so much because they were already online, but others where they had a brick and mortar store have come online, or event planners, or somebody who's running a conference that used to be live and now has had to bring it online too. It's I think it's been a challenge, but yet it's also been the trigger to get people into action to actually do it. So I know for some people it was something that they might have been speaking about doing, for a year or so, and just always the excuse, I'm too busy when I
Mhm.
have time. So this, again, this has been the uh, the trigger to get people moving.
I can tell you a couple of example, like like we met at Gordon's one of the conferences, right? Like we are in the business of we have a platform called Landed for Success, where we hold live events. A lot of people come, they network, they get coaching, and they get speakers. Like so, since we had our event in February, since COVID, we absolutely pivoted into online. So till to date, we had 8 virtual speed networking event. It's completely free. We don't charge any money for our events. So what we did is we hosted one event per month where we had small businesses, brick and mortar business, people who are starting up, or people who are already in the business, to come out of their comfort zone, and like via Zoom, they get to pitch their business for 30 seconds. And there we got some sponsors, like gifting sponsors, like every sponsor were giving two $25 gift cards from Amazon or Home Depot or whatever have you. So they come in through draw, we were giving out some money. So why is important is like pivoting, like your show and what you are saying is like, even though our core business originally in event planning started us as a live events, we
Right.
had to pivot on online, and we are going very strong. So we have online events planned for January, February, and March. Like, speaking of the mental health, this is kind of a forum, like even though you cannot go out, you can still come out and you can watch and hear and virtually meet some people. And sometimes if you don't have any friends, you can make new friends. The whole idea of our platform is it's heart-centered organization, and it's a very inclusive platform. So there is no criterias we are giving, you have to be making this much or you have to be on this industry. No, it's a very inclusive platform. We have an amazing group of people, especially on this time. We wanted to we wanted to let you know, like, your groups and friends, they can come and attend this event for free, and they can network and not only grow their business and make some meaningful connections, Michelle.
Yeah, so it's and the thing is too, going to this online platform exposes, gives people the chance who are not physically in the GTA to join.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest benefit. Like, I know I've joined some online conferences that I've wanted to attend in the past, that but I would have had to take a plane and pay for accommodation and all that. So as a result, I think that this has really given us the chance to network with people on a global basis, especially for people who have a global business. They've been able to get clients from all over the world.
You're absolutely right, because that is exactly a good point, because sitting here in your own comfort of your home, you could be networking from somebody from Mexico or South Africa, Australia, UK, and California. Like, I can tell you, with Landed for Success, we have members who are coming in from California, and we even have one contact coming from South Korea and Dubai, all over the place. Like, not at great numbers, but we have a global platform. Like you said, it's an excellent point. Like, with the virtual, you can talk to somebody and network with somebody literally miles and miles away.
Yeah, I mean, you might not have so many people right now that are global, but as it grows more, like, the fact is that we already had this technology. We already had Zoom. We could have done that. We could have had a coffee with anybody across the world, but we didn't really do it. And now this has given us the chance to start doing it. And from what I understand, everybody's going to keep doing this because this is great. All of a sudden you can connect with people across the world. And for us, in the winter, thinking sometimes when we've had to go to networking events and then there's a snowstorm, or it's snowing and you think, oh no, or it takes you 2 hours to get somewhere because of the snow. This you just come and you can be networking with people and doing business with them. So that's one side of it that has been really beneficial. And I think going forward, we're just going to have a blend, right? Of the online and live, because we are missing live events. We're missing being, in a room together with people. It's as much as this is great, it's still not the same. It doesn't replace the live.
Absolutely. We have to do a bit of both, because we have we have created habit. Humans are creatures of habit. So we have taken a population who was extrovert, who like me, who like to go and meet events. So now the introverts, like typically people who have not gone to networking events, they're on Zoom. So right now, like I think going forward, anybody who can cater to both of the side, so the population have a choice, like people would have a choice. Yeah, do I want to go and meet the person in live, or do I have to go and meet them in Zoom? So companies, more and more companies are going to provide both of the option, like you said. And I can tell you, like as for us, we are doing both. We will be hosting live events, and we are going to be hosting online virtual events as well.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's what most people I've spoken with have, who have people who had only live events before, because now they've spent all these months learning how to run an online event. Now that they've mastered that, just figure out the way to do a hybrid event where you have online and people there live. And then it also, like, yes, we can then join from wherever. And also, if it's the winter and you don't like driving in the snow, you don't have to worry about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, like for me, I'm in Etobicoke. If I wanted to go to something up in, Markham, where you are, say, at and it was a 6 o'clock event or something, I really wouldn't want to be fighting the traffic. So this way I could join. So, it's I think that we're going to see it's giving us the chance to create new things and create new ways of doing business. And the main thing is to be purposeful and really doing stuff that means, figuring out what's important to you and having a more meaningful life. That's what I really see.
Absolutely. Like you said, it's very important that we do meaningful. Like that's what our one of our core value is. We are providing a platform for people to come and network, because like I said, that's why we are not charging anybody to attend. So we don't want to discourage anybody at this time. Oh, I don't have any, because I know there are big organizations, big speakers, and hope they will charge, rightfully so, because that's a skill. But for us, we're just starting out, and we just want to make sure that we are mindful of everybody and offer a free networking events.
Well, that's great. That's I think that's a great venue as well to push people out of the comfort zone, because I know at the beginning of this, some people were fine. They were already on Zoom. They're used to the platform. There are other people who really didn't like being on video, and that was really throwing them out of their comfort zone. And I think at this point, now it's been enough months that, hopefully they've kind of gotten over that. And
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's great. And I should definitely attend one of these. I know you've invited me. And
you're always
yeah, no, for sure. Because I think that the more people, you can meet, and it's, the better, because you don't know who knows who. There, everybody knows somebody else, and you never know, even if the other person doesn't necessarily need your services, they might know somebody who does. So it's definitely something that it's all about relationship building, really, and that's what COVID has also taught us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Michele. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and it's very insightful, and I'm very glad that you come from a very heart-centered place and think about everybody and giving so much giving, which is it's a very nice thing to see, and I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much. And I will put your information up underneath this interview when I put it up as well for the for Landed for Success. So if anybody wants to join at your upcoming events as we head into 2021, what would be your next one coming up?
It's January 28th at 7 p.m. We already have it on our website, so I'll send
Okay.
you the information. It's in our website is www.landedforsuccess.com, and people can find that out.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Jay. So stay safe. Happy holidays, and I look forward to when we can see each other again in person.
Happy holidays. Thank you again.
Thank you.